All right. Where'd you go?
Camping to the Tetons.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. And I was glad we were under contract before I went out of town. So it was not so crazy.
Yes, it's always hard when you barely have service and you're trying to negotiate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, couple questions for you. My
Yes.
clients have made me think through everything so much, right? Um, okay, so the inspector and the Utah Radon Company have
Uh-huh.
access to the Supra keys.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Vendors can get access to Supras. They have to pay a fee to UCAR and get registered and everything like that. And
Okay.
so, yeah, you'll like
Okay.
photographers, inspectors, appraisers, those are the most common that have access to Supras.
Okay. And then how does it work? My client was asking me. He said, so like, do I only have access to a Supra if they've approved it in showings? Like I couldn't
Techn-
just go to any house at any time.
Technically, no. The Supras always work.
Weird.
Uh, yes. Now, when you open up a Supra, that agent gets a notification that you open the Supra. And so if something goes wrong, it is directly tied to you.
Yeah. Wow, that's kind of scary though to think that any agent can look at any Supra box and go in at any time.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I mean, not that it scares me, but my clients were like, how does this work? And they were a little nervous. Um, and then
Now it
I,
doesn't work at night though. It like stops working at like 9 o'clock at night or something. So
okay,
it
okay,
is,
okay,
yeah, it is just the daytime that it works.
okay. That's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever opens it, uh, we get a notification. I can't remember who gets them. Probably Jeanette gets them
Yeah.
that says like, Amy, open this Supra. And so, like, if the key gets lost, that's usually the most common thing that happens. Like the next agent goes and then calls you and like, hey, there's not a key in the Supra. It's like, oh, whoever opened it right before you still has the key then. And then you can
Yeah.
go back through and find that out.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Um,
Amy, you would get an email every time as well. The listing agent gets an email notification.
okay. Okay. That's good. But the nighttime is a big deal because I was like, if someone was sleeping, I wouldn't get the notification, right? Because I'm sleeping and my clients are sleeping. So that's good to know that it stops at night.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 9 or 10 o'clock. I can't remember.
Okay.
At night.
So my client, he wants to be there for the inspection. He's nervous that if somebody's in his home without anyone else there, if he puts a hole in the wall or if he breaks something, the sale might not go through and then he's out and all of this. And I told him, no, the inspector is professional. This is what they do for their job. He's like, but I think another person should be there. He's like, is the buyer's agent going to be there? I'm like, let me look into this. And then he ultimately asked, I said, I'm happy to be there. I could work from his home.
Hmm.
Um, and then he ultimately asked, well, I don't see where it says I'm not allowed to be there. So I'd like to be there. Do you think that's okay? So at least he asked. So I put a little note to the brokers to ask them. Um,
Yes. So I don't like when sellers are there because they take things personally. Like imagine someone going to your house and being like, "Oh, looks like that was painted incorrectly. Oh, you see that outlet? It should have been replaced. That's a real easy thing to do." And they almost like start getting defensive. And
Mhm.
so definitely let him know that like the inspector's job is to find everything wrong with the house. And that doesn't mean that they didn't take good care of the house. It just could mean that there's little things that are wrong,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
okay. And so if he's going to be there, tell him like you probably shouldn't follow him around. He's gonna find a whole bunch of things, and then the buyers are probably going to be there either the whole time or at least for the end of it for the inspector to go over everything. And he
Mhm.
should try to avoid being there, maybe even leave when the buyers get there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes agents will be there and sometimes they won't. It's all over the place with agents.
Okay.
I don't like going because I always get tempted to be like, ah, that's not a big deal. Don't worry about that. My house has that same problem and I've lived in it for years. And
Mhm.
that's not what you want to be doing during an inspection.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So ultimately he can be there. It's best if he's not. And then I can recommend it's probably even it's important for him not to be there when the buyers are there to allow them to have the space
Yeah,
to
because
really.
it's almost like a long showing sometimes. Like it sounds like he's taken great care of the house as well. So it's not
Mhm.
going to be like they're like calling out everything that he has done or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it just might be a time for the buyers to walk through again and be like, okay, so now here's the room we're going to do here, and we'll need to buy a new dresser and a different bed and start to like plan out some of these things. A lot of buyers will use this almost as like a long walk through of the house.
Yeah.
And so it might just get awkward if he's there. If
Yeah.
they,
He's
the inspector
okay
might
if
get
there's
everything wrong
yeah.
and
He's
showing.
okay if there's multiple people there. He's just worried about one person there and one person saying this is broken and my client saying it wasn't broken before.
Hmm.
He's just nervous about it.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell him the inspector's a professional. Um, but he's nervous. And you know what? I don't blame him. Like he built the home 18 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Okay.
some inspectors actually have like an assistant that helps out. Not everyone does, so he might be there, and the inspector shows up with a friend. Like that could be normal, and then the buyers
Okay.
will show up at some point, and then that's where he could probably excuse himself.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. How's everything else going with this short week for you all?
Good. I picked up another buyer and we're looking at Patterson Construction. Have you worked with Patterson before?
Yes.
What was your
Um,
experience?
Hopefully they've improved some things since then, but they were good-ish. We used to sell their houses too, like listing agent. And they, I mean, they build good houses and are usually easy to work with, but every once in a while they dig in their heels. But right now, I think builders aren't very choosy, so I think they make things work a little bit more than normal.
Okay. Okay. So be prepared to put up a fight if they get particular about something.
Yeah, but I don't think you'll run into something like that. It's more if like things go south and there's big problems, then that's might be where they are a little more mean. But like day to day, they're fine. They build a good product too. Uh, I like them. Um, First week of September. Can you guys believe it? Okay, this week for the DTD2. We have P and L, profit and loss. It's the money week. Um, just because of P and L, not because P and L answers their phone and buys houses more. Uh, Financial joke if you didn't get that. So call the P and Ls this week. Thanks for the emoji, Kylie. Uh, Crappy dad joke. And then we got some great trainings coming up today for team meeting. We're going to do value squared, which is defining your value proposition, which is step one of the team meeting that I am going to run on Thursday of maximizing your commission, making the most money. And so come today so you can hear what you should be doing. And then we're going to put that into practice on Thursday as we try to define and build out like elevator pitches and things like that. So as you're talking to people very quickly, you can show your value or explain your value and then get a 3% commission or more. I'm not going to limit you. Go more than three. So, hey, come at 11 and then we got Ignite continuing tomorrow. So be ready for that. Kylie, or Callie, are you live with your listing? Do you have showings? Maybe she didn't hear me. Callie, how's your listing?
Hey, sorry that disconnected. I don't know. My
Oh,
listing is up and I've gotten a couple people who have called on it, so that's exciting.
nice. Okay. Investor buyers, send them that way. So she's got a good little fourplex there in Spanish Springville. Where are you?
Spanish Fork. It's actually
Spanish
really
Fork.
close to like Highway 6 and I-15. It's like right behind like the Costco area, I
Nice.
guess. Yeah.
That's a great area. Okay. We'll go crush it this week. Make those phone calls, and I'll see you all at team meeting today. Thanks, y'all. See ya.
Thanks.